the monster inside every human. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a secret ability, a button you could press, a transformation you could trigger. For a few hours, you could become someone completely different. No guilt, no shame, no consequences. You could say what you wanted, do what you wanted, and nobody would ever know it was you. Would you use that power, or would you be afraid of what it might reveal? More than 140 years ago, one writer asked this exact question, and his answer became one of the most famous stories ever written. The story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In the gaslit streets of Victorian London, Dr. Henry Jekyll appeared to have everything society admired. He was wealthy, educated, successful, a respected doctor with a reputation for kindness and generosity. From the outside, Jekyll seemed like the perfect example of a good man. But behind this perfect image was a hidden struggle. Jekyll believed every human being contained two opposing forces, a good side and a darker side. A side that wanted freedom from rules, a side that wanted pleasure without guilt, a side that society told him he should hide. But instead of accepting that this darkness existed within him, Jekyll decided to separate it. Through his scientific experiments, Jekyll creates a mysterious potion, a discovery that he believes will change humanity forever. When he drinks it, something impossible happens. He transforms, not into a monster, not into a creature from another world, but into another version of himself. Edward Hyde. Hyde is everything Jekyll believes he cannot be. Free from responsibility, free from reputation, free from society's expectations. As Dr. Jekyll, he must maintain control. He must behave. He must protect his name. But as Hyde, he can finally experience every hidden desire without fear of judgment. At first, Jekyll believes he has found the perfect solution. He can enjoy his darker impulses while keeping his respectable identity untouched. But he makes one dangerous mistake. He believes Hyde is someone else. The frightening truth of the story is this: Hyde was never created. Hyde was released. He was not a completely separate person. He was a part of Jekyll that had always existed. A part hidden behind years of discipline, manners, and social expectations. This is what makes the story so disturbing. The monster is not outside the human. The monster is inside. Robert Louis Stevenson never describes Hyde like a traditional monster. There are no claws, no supernatural powers, no terrifying appearance. Instead, people simply feel something is wrong when they meet him. They cannot explain it, but they sense it, almost as if humans can recognize someone who has lost something important. More than a century after Stevenson wrote this story, psychologist Carl Jung introduced an idea called the shadow. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves we refuse to accept. Our anger, our jealousy, our selfish desires, our fears. The emotions we hide because we believe they do not fit the person we want others to see. But the problem with hiding these parts of ourselves is that they do not disappear. They grow stronger in the darkness. Jekyll believed he could remove his darker side, but instead, he gave it power. The lesson of this story is not that humans are naturally evil. The lesson is that pretending we have no darkness can make us vulnerable to it. Although this story was written in 1886, it feels strangely modern. Because every person understands the idea of having different versions of themselves. Think about the difference between who someone is in public and who they become when they believe nobody is watching. A person can be polite face-to-face, but cruel behind a computer screen. A calm person can become aggressive behind the wheel of a car. A respected individual can secretly live a completely different life. The question is, which version is the real person? The one everyone sees? Or the one that appears when there are no consequences? One of the most powerful parts of Jekyll's story is that Hyde begins as a choice. At first, Jekyll believes, I can stop whenever I want. But slowly, the choice becomes a desire. The desire becomes a need. And the need becomes a loss of control. This is the same pattern we see in many human struggles: addiction, greed, anger, power. The first step is always small. A person believes they are in control, until one day they realize the thing they created now controls them. The genius of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is that Stevenson never asks, are there evil people? He asks something much more uncomfortable. Is there a little bit of Hyde inside everyone? Because most people are not tested by whether they can be good when life is easy. The real test comes when they have the opportunity to do something wrong and believe nobody will ever find out. Who are we when there are no witnesses? When nobody is watching? When there are no consequences? That is where character is revealed. Dr. Jekyll wanted freedom. He wanted to escape guilt. He wanted to experience life without limits. But he discovered something humanity has always struggled with. You cannot destroy a part of yourself by hiding it. You cannot separate yourself from your choices, and you cannot create a monster without first giving it something human. Perhaps the most frightening thing about Mr. Hyde is not that he was a monster. It is that he was created by an ordinary man, a man who wanted to be good, a man who simply refused to accept that being human means carrying both light and darkness. So the question remains, if nobody could judge you, if nobody would ever know, what version of yourself would appear?